Day 2, part 2. I had technical difficulties yesterday. I filmed the whole second part of this tour and went to review the video and I had no sound. So I thought about just editing it with music, and then I realized, I really want to talk about the plants and I want to be able to look back on this myself and see what plants were where, and so just decided to film it again today. And so it's 2 parts, and that maybe makes it more more palatable, shorter videos, easier to watch. So I'm starting here in my shade garden today. We went through about half of my yard yesterday, mainly the kind of the sunny side of the yard. This is more of the starting here in the shade. So here we go. So this is the deep shade garden in my yard, and most of the larger plants here are tree coleus. And my mom gave me a couple, I think 4 or 5, maybe 6 of them that were about that tall. And the leaves were just these smaller leaves. And now I have 10 large plants. So they love it here. They're doing really well. I've heard that this is also called the toilet paper tree because it's so soft, like really, really soft, like unbelievably soft. It would be okay as toilet paper. And kind of smells a little, I don't know, slightly minty. Anyway, it's doing really well here, so I have a lot of it, and I'm gonna try to work in some more colorful flowers. I do have, or plants and flowers. I have some of the purple heuchera over there, but until it sends up its bloom stalks, kind of disappears. And I need to finish pulling the ivy back on this side and plant, I'm going to plant more begonias on this side of this walkway. Just kind of pinks and make it look a little more interesting on this side. And the other plant that I have a lot of in here is bloodleaf or irisine, which actually this is the lime irisine. And I love it because it does really well here. This one is the actual bloodleaf. And I have every reason to believe that it will do this, be large and take over here. I like this, the lime one, because every once in a while you'll get a leaf that's half pink, half lime. And the stem is this really cool, bright magenta pink color. I also have a lot of ageratum in here, which when that blooms, it's a light purple, similar to the color of this Tradescantia in there, a little bit of purple down there. And then I have heucheras in here. And I'm going to be adding all these into this area. More heuchera, more coleus. I have even more coleus on my front porch. And this one is impatient, poor man's rhododendron. They will get about 5 feet tall, and they have a pinky purple flower. So I think it'd be cool to have one of them poking out right over there. And maybe through there. So I'm going to work those in. And then on this side, I have this beautiful pink hydrangea, and it is doing exactly what I want it to do with that lime irisine behind it with the bright pink stems. It's really, they're echoing each other and making the whole area cohesive. And then this is the tree coleus. This is the flower. It's a purple flower. And there's one way up in there in the tree where these things are getting 12, 15 feet tall here in my yard. I can't even believe how big they're getting. So eventually I'll be able to lift the lower canopy up and put other colors underneath them and have them be more of truly a tree coleus. And I have this geranium was here when I moved in, or here on the property. I moved it to this location because I didn't like it where it was. And that kind of just works into this more bright tropical color theme I have going on in this shade garden area. I cannot wait for these to bloom. These are epiphyte that I got. I didn't really want it. There was a couple of other items in an estate sale that I wanted, pots, and this was one of the items in the lot, and it came, and I thought nothing of it until it bloomed last year. And it's about the color of the hydrangeas there, so it's kind of a perfect happy accident. On this side, there's a dry creek bed that comes through this area from that rain gutter. There actually is a gutter pipe that comes all the way down through here just to move water away from the house. And I planted it with heuchera. There's some white and some pink flowering. And I'm going to put more of it back in there. And the pink again matches the stems of the lime irisine, and I have to pick which plant I'm going to feature in this pot, or plants. Perhaps an elephant ear. And then on this side, there's a few more of the tree coleus and another pink hydrangea. I want to propagate more of this hydrangea and put more of it through here. And then coming up this way toward the vegetable garden, these are just pink flags where I have small clivias. And you can see back in there, the orange flower, that's a mature clivia. And I do have more orange here. I have these birds of paradise and this, can't remember the name of it right now, but it has an orange flower. This is where the veggie garden begins, and there's something going on with this bed, and the water doesn't quite, oh my God, there's a gopher in it. Look at the ground. Maybe that's what's going on with this bed. Look. Gopher or a mole or somebody in there. No wonder the plants aren't doing very well. Somebody's in there eating. That's funny. Can't believe I caught that. Huh. Okay. And we have horrible powdery mildew. So, may as well, oh my goodness, may as well write this bed off, huh? That's no good. Anywho. Okay, well, we're going to just write that bed off, I guess. We've moved the strawberries into a tower, some of them. I'm going to keep moving more of them in there because they get eaten by slugs and snails if they're out in the landscape over there. And we're starting to get some production here on the tomatoes in these beds. I see a red one down in there. And these are a white tomato. They start out yellow and turn more white as they mature. And the carrots look like they're doing well. And there's some cucumbers on that cucumber plant that's sprawling out. But we really struggle with powdery mildew here, so I have to just, be really vigilant about pulling leaves off things, and then if there's not enough leaves to produce the fruit, then it's a problem. So every year I try cucumbers and squash, and every year they fail. hoping for a good one of these years. This is a 4 o'clock flower, and there's white ones, and there's pink ones, and then there's even a yellow one behind this strawberry guava there. And they cross-pollinate really quickly and reseed themselves, and it looks like there's nothing here, and then boom, there are these giant plants. So beware them if you plant them. Just keep an eye on them. They drop their seeds everywhere, and they're really reseed easily, readily. Now remember, this is a canna. So I have another canna over there that's orange at the edge of the more tropical shade forest over there. And these blackberries are starting to flower, so that'll be exciting. Be really fun to see those. There's one of my kids. And I have planted a rose over there that I'm going to have to, it's a climber, so I'm going to have to stake it up the side of the house here at some point. And it had already bloomed, and I've cut it back. And then these gladiolas are just fantastic over here and eye-catching. There's a pink and a burgundy, and then that fruit tree in there is a Buddha hand citrus, and I also have some hibiscus in here. And this is, I think, is called a beauty bush, beauty berry. See if it'll bloom this year. And 2 strawberry guavas, as I'm going to try to train them up and over this as a kind of an archway to walk into the veggie garden here. And then we're in we're in the orchard, I would say. And here's another one of the 4 o'clock flowers that it must have been cross-pollinated with a pink one, because now it's got pink stripes. And then there's some over here that are white with pink stripes. So it's kind of an interesting flower. It genetically changes really quickly. Entering the orchard. So this is our stone fruit orchard, stone fruit and apples. So there's 2 apple trees here, and then the rest are apricots, cherries, peaches, plums, nectarines. And the apricot trees were here and the plum trees were here when we arrived, and I didn't know what they were. So we kind of let them go for a season, and then I got hurt. So I know I need to cut this whole branch off this one and cut off the suckers. But they're starting to produce fruit. The first year I had pretty much nothing on them, and now there's a little bit more, and we're bagging the fruit where we can so that we can get it instead of the birds. But I'm taking out the strawberries in this area because they just get so eaten by slugs and pill bugs, and it's just ridiculously difficult to keep them insect free. So I'm starting to come in with dahlias and catmint and cosmos and lisianthus and lavender and roses, and I'm sure there's other things in here that I just added. I think sages, there's an oregano. So my goal is to have a pink, purple, white flower field here, and I do need to get one of these hydrangeas, propagate one of them, these beautiful white hydrangeas, propagate one of them and get it over onto this side of the path. I also have echinacea in here I'm seeing, and peonies, and a few geraniums. So that's, I think, all that's in here. And there's some ground cover that was here. I did not plant this. It was here, and it's taken over. It'll take over if I let it, so I have to kind of maintain it a little bit. But this is what a catmint looks like when it starts to bloom. It's just beautiful. I think they're really pretty. And I'll cut this first flush back soon once it's bloomed out, and there's another whole flush that will happen before the end of the year, and then that one I will leave for the birds to eat the seeds. So I'm really enjoying how this is coming together. Oh, snapdragons. I have snapdragons in here. I have ranunculus, anemones, zinnias. So I really just wanted it to be a really full flower field in this area. So the ranunculus and anemones are starting to come up here along the edge. And on that side we have raspberries. So there's gold raspberries and red raspberries. And raspberries will spread. They will send out shoots from their mother plants. So be prepared for that, and you can dig them up and give them to people, or you can just give them up, dig them up, or you can let them grow. The other thing I did not know would spread via shoots is Hydrangea arborensis, but it does. I see new shoots coming up. This one got eaten by a deer 2 years in a row and finally is getting a chance to grow. So it's pretty happy. And all of the raspberries I came in last fall after they were all done and cut off the end where it had fruited, and then left the lower part, and that lower part is actually what we're getting fruit on right now. You can see here how I've come in and cut that off, and this is where it's fruiting down below. Gosh, I'm seeing dry plants, which means there's something wrong with my water in this area. That's not good. And then these are the red raspberries. So on this side I have red. And then the blackberries are on this side over here. And this is a native blackberry, and what I'm going to do is come in with an arbor that'll go over this portion of the walkway, because we want to walk through here, but we also love these blackberries. They're really prolific and really delicious. And we've been starting to harvest plums off the trees. They're pretty full, laden with plums. So getting them harvested before the birds get them. I got to come out here with bags, but I've been kind of busy. Hectic. But I got to fix this water problem out here. Okay, let's head to the blue garden. This is where the blue garden starts. This cute little columbine's out of bloom at the moment, but I just came in through here and planted a whole bunch of seeds, plants, and expect it to start looking like something fairly soon. I put a lot of sword ferns in, some impatient, anemones, columbine, and back in there I put some more of the geranium majorentes. And along on this side, sword ferns and honeywort and buddleia. Buddleia. Put some buddleia. This is the blue, decane blue anemone. And this is a kiwi, not a kiwi, good Lord. This is a Kool-Aid tree. Kool-Aid tree. Smells like Kool-Aid. So this area has blues and purples in it, and I still haven't cleaned up my pile of work items, but I did come in here with some Brunnera, some Astilbe, and there's a lot of blue, of the blue anemone, 2 more of the blue hydrangeas in here, and looks like some of the seeds are starting to come up that I put in. we do, of course, get a lot of weeds every time we start watering any area. We get the radish and the mustard come up, but I do see some things that I planted fighting for their positions. This tree has the clematis in it, purple. And I put a few more of the Predamaderas around the bottom here to continue the screening of the fence area here. And on this side I have some salvia, blue toad lilies, and stream orchids. This is a white lavender. I definitely have to come back and cut things back better this year because I'm noticing the lavender is starting to get kind of woody, and once it gets woody, won't grow back from that position. And then down here, I put more blue garden items. The princess tree, which has a purple flower. These are starting to show what they look like, so that's cool. I do see tons of seeds coming up where I planted them in the drip spots. So this will start coming together better, the blue garden. Going along this way, kind of hugging the fence line, is more of, I kind of call it a woodland garden. But it's just kind of, again, light pinks, purples, whites. So there's a buddleia, foxglove. This is an elderberry. And I do have a hydrangea standard in there, but it is not very happy. That's it right there. And this is where I just put in some hostas, and I put sticks so I could find where I put them. I don't see much action, so I'm hoping they'll pull through. And this I really cannot wait for. I mean, I can wait, obviously, I have to. But I'm growing this branch of this cypress. I'm going to continue to allow the branches that'll make it go into a circle here and cut off the ones that are heading that way and encourage the ones that are coming back in. Nothing really seems to want to live underneath them. Well, I guess a few things have made it, but they really need deep, deep water because these will steal all the water. This is an Australian peppermint, I believe, or a New Zealand peppermint tree. I love it. It gives me that weeping willow look, but it's evergreen and has these beautiful white flowers on it. And my mom, who's a master gardener and is just a very avid gardener, said that this is a good alternative for a pepper tree, if that's what you're looking for, because this is not as aggressive as a spreader as a pepper tree would be. And I like it better. I think it has a deeper green color than a pepper tree. It does have some kind of more orange new growth, but then it turns very green, and I use it in arrangements all the time. When it comes down on our heads here, I cut it up off the path and use it in an arrangement. I know there was one hosta here. One hosta I planted, maybe it's going to survive. And come in here with some more, I need more water. I'm seeing areas where I'm not getting good water after my last run of installing irrigation. So I think I have to hook into a different supply line for a lot of this area and kind of better maybe draw myself a map. But I have a lot more of this currant, and I'm hoping to try to propagate some of it. It's pink flowering currant. This is a rock rose, a pink one, light pink. Now this is the same plant over here. I think it has some flowers on it. If I can get to them. Oh my. You can kind of get the gist. They bloom one day and then they're done. So they're not a good cut flower, but they have such large amounts of, excuse me, buds on them that it almost looks like they're always in flower until they're not. This hosta looks like it might be trying. Go, baby, go. Oh, I'm getting mosquitoes in the face. Horrible. So this is the impatient, the poor man's rhododendron. And it has really fun seed pods that when you just roll them gently between your hand, they pop and make this kind of caterpillar looking thing, and the seeds pop out. And the force of that pop sends the seeds scattering, and then it spreads itself that way. And it'll do it on its own. You don't have to come do it. There's some very mature pods there that are about to scatter. And I have some, so I have another of the Geranium madurense here. And I am going to come scatter, when I cut some down in other areas of the yard, I'll come scatter more of their seeds. Probably back in here where I want a tall accent plant. I do have some rhododendron in there. I'm hoping it'll pull through. The impatient is doing much better than the rhododendron. The rhododendron's short. The rhododendron is the plant. See if I can point with my cane. Ooh. Rhododendron isn't looking very happy. This is the rhododendron, and it's got browning of the leaves. This is the impatient, and it's getting taller and bigger and happier. This is another type of impatient here, the white flower with the red throat. Here we go. It's a better example of the flower. So it's a better example of that flower. And looky here, a critter has come along and dug up my hosta. I think I will put that back in the ground. How about that? That's ridiculous. Oops, wait, I'm putting it the wrong way up. Yeah, there we go. Needs to get some water on it. Okay. This is anemone, the Honori Jobert. And they spread. It's a Japanese anemone, and I want it to. I want it to fill in this area and give me beautiful flowers. And we had a eucalyptus here that was very brittle, and every storm we had, giant branches would break off. So we had it taken out and the stump ground, but they missed. But I love using this as an accent in flower arrangements, so I will just cut on it and keep it in check that way. And some pink astilbe back in there under the pine. It's really pretty. And then this, I think, is a baby cypress coming under this pine, which is a baby of this pine up here. This whole tree line along our fence line was here, and it is on the south side of our property, and it gives us great shade. Pretty much shades to about the edge of the path here. Most of the time in the winter. Even in the summer, I have to grow everything down on this side of the property. And in case you couldn't tell, we're avid volleyball players. It's not how I got hurt this time, but it's how I've been hurt my knees in the past. But this is a quarter size volleyball court. It's just for, goofing around. But along the whole edge there, I have planted a hedge of feijoa, which is a pineapple guava. And there is an avocado in the middle. And then I just incorporated the 2 apples that were there. So that'll kind of wrap around and contain the volleyballs so they don't go bouncing off into the rest of the landscape and break dahlias and roses and knock fruits off trees. So that's my plan. And along this way, this is an acacia. It's a weed. It's here. It was here when we came here. It has really pretty yellow flowers. I do have 1 tree, 2 trees I'm allowing of it in the yard, but it spreads like wildfire. And it grows like crazy and it's not very strong. So when a branch gets really heavy, it flops over and it's a thug. So I don't like it, but I'm keeping this portion of it hedged up. And then this red one here is a Photinia, and the new growth is red. New growth is red, and then it turns green and has a really pretty white flower, kind of like an elderberry flower. It has like bracts of white flowers. And it's in bloom. There's another type of eucalyptus we have here. And then a podocarpus here. This was supposed to be a giant heuchera, this pink one, but it's not giant in my yard. This is a sugar bush, a 3-year-old sugar bush. I'm hoping it's doing the sleep, creep, leap process and it'll leap this year. I just don't think it's hot enough here for it. The Geranium majorense on this side are almost all bloomed out. This one is a Hebe. It has really pretty purple flowers. That's also the name of my statue. It's the goddess of youth, I believe. And there were 2 pomegranate trees here. They have a really deep taproot. There was a third that was out here in the middle of the volleyball court. This whole area was a slope from that edge down to there. And we level it off and put a wall so we could have a space here. And there were a few other fruit trees that just were not doing well at all here. So I decided to keep the apricots on that side and plums and focus orchard on that area and give us a little space to play volleyball. This olive was here, leaving it, and these maples were here. And this eucalyptus is propagating itself. Now there's 3 of them. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to leave it. I'm enjoying the blue color right now, but they are such messy trees, that I may end up taking the new ones out. When the Geranium majorense is done, it flops over its flower stalk, its main flower stalk, and I come in and I take these sticky flower seed bundles and scatter them where I want more of it, and starts again. It's a biennial, so it takes 2 years to flower. This, believe it or not, is not in full bloom. That's about half of what it normally is. Normally it's just this poof of purple. I have some hardy geraniums. I think they're in here. This is a pink tea tree. More of the Hebe. This was here. The Hebe was here. More campanulates, not the blue. It's a purple one. And this is another one of the little tree tunnel areas in the yard. So this is the feijoa, or pineapple guava. Goodness, I have a lot of weeding to do. Oof. Here's our mulberry tree, a weeping mulberry. It's loaded with fruit, so that's a good thing. And this area I just worked on adding lavender and purple cone echinacea. And then this is a Desdemona rose, which comes out kind of light pink and then ages a little more white. And these are the flowers of the feijoa, or pineapple guava. There is a fig, a ficus, that looks similar, that doesn't fruit, that looks similar to a feijoa. We have fig trees here. These are 2 years old, so they'll be doing better now that the deer doesn't come in and eat them. And this is the Nye Bevan rose from David Austin. The buds are kind of peachy yellow, and then the blooms are more of a clear yellow. And I do see, hopefully snails didn't get them. Yeah, I do see some little seeds coming up where we planted the larkspur and purple zinnias. And on this side we have blueberries. This is the blueberries, lavender, 2 Feuilles persimmons. That was just standing up an hour ago, beautifully, that dahlia, and now it's flopping over. Interesting. So this side I had started with blueberries last year, so these ones are more mature, and then these ones are younger on this side. But I do need to come in. I didn't get to last year because my leg was broken, but I need to come in and really prune them appropriately to give them the most, as many branches as possible, because the more branches, the more flowers and fruit. And this white is the purple pelargonium, which smells like what did I call it? Purple? Peppermint pelargonium, which it's just amazing. It smells like peppermint. You crush it, it smells like peppermint. So this part of my garden is kind of a scent garden, if you will. There's peppermint, there's sage, there's lavender, there's rosemary. And if you come out here, and sometimes of the year when it's warm, they all release their scents, and it's really wonderful. This is the biggest fig leaf I think I've ever seen. I can imagine using this to cover your body. I mean, it's huge. It's gigantic. So there we go. That's where Adam and Eve got their fig leaves. And just looking back this way, eventually that Chilean guava over there will grow taller and you won't be able to see the brighter color beyond, and then this will be kind of a more calming calming room of the garden. This is on my citrus orchard. Down in here I have limes, oranges, caracara oranges, mandarins, tangerines, grapefruit, Meyer lemons, finger limes, and one tree that was here. We don't know what it is. Coming down this way, I enjoy this meadow sage a lot. This was a rescue plant. I didn't know what color they were. So I'm going to try to propagate more of that and spread it through this area. And the wedding candles verbascum is starting to bloom, which is so beautiful. I love it. It's the pinks and whites. And there's two more of them. There's one here and one over there. And these gross buckets that you see around the yard, they are mosquito traps. We put mosquito bits, which is a mosquito larva. The mosquitoes lay their eggs in the water, and then the larvae eat the mosquito bits and do not survive. So, gosh, look, gopher hole. Let me see. This is why I have a cane out here. It's ridiculous. Gopher hole. Okay. So here we have one of the panicle hydrangeas we moved. And I have a river of the Spanish lavender going through here. And I kind of break off and propagate the white sage around here sometimes. And I had an emitter here and nothing planted, so I thought I'd give that a whirl. This artichoke back in there has already bloomed. We cut out the stalk, ate the artichokes, and now it's going again. This is I don't know exactly what kind of succulent, but beautiful flower. Oh, it smells so good right here. Let's see, I love seeing that yellow. This area needed some bright, light white, so I've come in this year with the white roses, the yellow flowers, the white hydrangeas, and the white sage is starting to bloom right now. It's got a really pretty bluey white, purpley flower. The birds love the seeds on this one. Oh, see, that rosemary that we cut back is already blooming again. And I found this, just realized underneath this poppy, I found a lavender that I cut back too late, and it's no longer with us, so I'll have to dig that one out. And I noticed yesterday on this Chilean guava that there were hundreds of little fruits. Look at the cute little fruits on it. Oops. Look at those little fruits. So I tried one yesterday. It was not not ready. I have to research a little further, but I want to put another one of those over there on the corner so it blocks from the house the view of the gladiolas. Even though they're beautiful, it's not the color scheme of the garden that they're in. And I'm enjoying how the apricot cosmos, apricot lemonade, anyway, these cosmos are really pretty. They're doing their job. Get this peachy margin, and then a pink center, and then white in there, and it just has a glow. So they're doing their job in this area. And that brings us back around. Artichokes that we planted seem to be doing pretty well. And this is going to be getting really huge soon. It's, okay, well, can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it on the screen. It's doing really well. Spread, oh, Monardia, there we go. It's spread a little bit. I would like more of it maybe on this side, kind of backing up to that Podocarpus is a different style, different kind. So that does it for the second half of the July garden tour and yard walk, and it's looking so different than it did a month ago, and it's going to continue to change really rapidly here as it gets warmer. We have a foggy day here today, and that's kind of our normal summer weather is foggy. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch up with you next time. Bye-bye.